हॅलो हॅलो, माय नेम इज शिवराज. हॅलो,
आवाज येते सर तुमचा?
हा, आता मला पण येतो आवाज. ओके सर. हां, गुड इव्हनिंग एव्हरीवन. माय नेम इज शिवराज काळे. माय व्हॉइस इज क्लिअर सर? मला काय आवाज येत नाही तुमचा? हां, मगाशी आलं की आवाज, आता नाही आला.
A very warm welcome to all of you. So today we have gathered here to celebrate a session for National Startup Day. From this year, as per directives of Ministry, 16 January is celebrated as a National Startup Day. The purpose of celebrating this day is to motivate startups. So for this occasion, we have our guest. So today's guest of honor is Dr. Shivraj Kale sir. He is a director in R&D Agrotech Division, PSP-IP and Seed Private Limited, Shivajinagar, Pune. He has completed his B production. Also, he have done MBA in Industrial Management, and currently he have completed his PhD in Organizational Management. He also took from Jayalakshmi Farm Private Limited, and another one is Jayalakshmi Infotech. So, I would like to request our Vice Principal, Dr. S.J. Kulkarni sir, to welcome our guest.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, as rightly mentioned by Professor G.B. Virazdar, under the Electronics and Telecommunication, this activity is planned National Startup Day. So, the decade 2010 to 2020, these 10 years were considered to be an innovation decade. And the culture of this creativity and these startups that should get inculcated in the minds of the students. The students, probably those are taking the higher educations, in their mind, this get inculcated. So with this purpose, this particular day is started to celebrate from this year onwards. Basically, the purpose as for this for higher educational institute is to make awareness within students, so that different projects of the students, different activities of the students, that should get linked with the final outcome of the startups. The institutes has now launched national innovation and startup policies also. So higher educational institutes, those have this national innovation and startup policies framework. So these faculties and students will get the benefit to start their own businesses, own startups in that organizations. And organizations have given proper guidelines. So in SKN Singhagad College of Engineering also such guidelines are provided for the faculties as well as students. And those want to take the support of the startup facilities, the startup policies, they can take the benefit and they can start this different startups. Already the students of our college are motivated, and many students are entrepreneurs from this college. Those are pass out students, and now also the students which will get pass out from these institutes, they will get the awareness about how to go for these entrepreneurships, how to find the angel investmenters, as well as how to get the funding, and how to start own businesses, how to register them. So for that purpose, today we have an eminent personality from PSP-IP Associates. So Dr. Shivraj Kale has completed his PhD in the field of management, and he is an eminent personality from the industry PSP-IP Associates. And he is one of the fundamental element from our organization. Always he supports for innovation culture. Kale sir is always with. He is our member for Institution Innovation Council. As an external member, he always support us. And on this occasion of this startup day, today he is available with us. He is guiding for us for different angles of this National Startup Day. So I will request Dr. Shivraj Kale sir to start his session. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, to say that for making me to conduct this session for today's occasion of Innovation National Startup Day. I am very glad to come at Siagat Institute in Pandharpur, because every time, whenever I come here, more than 2 or 3 events are running in this institute, and the environment of institute is like a jatra. Bhakti Andolan starts from Pandharpur, and these innovations are take vast cover vast area due to this Siagat Institute Pandharpur, Siagat College of Engineering from Pandharpur. Now we start our session. Startups are small businesses, but not as a traditional business. Startups are the business which run with one innovative idea, and risk taking ability in startups must be more than other traditional businesses. So that the startup can grow exponentially, and seed fund, pre-seed funding is required for startup. For that, family support is required for startups. So before we start any business, we should make plan to take that business out of our area, and business should be grow exponentially. For seed funding, pre-seed funding, PSP-IP gives 100% sponsorship, and also gives techno-legal support for that. IPR is required for techno-legal support. For that, we should know we should go for idea patenting or design patenting. There are more than 10 fields which can be engineering college can use. In also in competitor in trips are required to go there, and students should take ideas from that incubation center and start their startup with the help of our faculty members. Now, there are many fields, agriculture field, tourism field, where we can use innovative ideas. And IoT sector is 80% of startups comes from IoT, and we can make Internet of Things so that more and more industry growth, exponential growth in that area is we can garb very easily. Also, infant mortality rate are high, so to accumulate that, to go beyond infant mortality rate and break even point for value, we should require to take help of teachers in Siagat Institute. Value product-based differentiate established brand is there, and we should make our product value-based so that established brand, competition with established brand, we can defeat that. Strong selling and marketing is required while startups are started. For that, PSP-IP is give guidance to startup free, 100% free of cost. And ideas, whenever ideas are filed with the help of patent, the legal rights are goes to inventor's hand, and that will help the inventor to bring angel investors like multinational companies or foreign direct investment, and that will help, that patents will help the inventor to invent more and more ideas in deep with the help of deep learning. So while studying BE, we should go for post graduation and also go for PhD to make deep learning and analysis at the stage of analysis, and that will help in future students to make them innovative ideas, and that innovative ideas are converted into startups, and that startup will make more generation of skilled workers and more environment friendly products are we can make with the help of deep learning. I want to say that everything comes from education. So while working on startup, the educational skill are every type of skill, marketing skill, selling skill, every type of skill is required, and that comes from university, that comes from our college. And so learning is important in this all phenomena. There are many ways more than 6 ways of market valuation. Angel investments are required to fulfill our requirements. In this all journey, 100% support is given, and also money support is given by PSP-IP Associates Private Limited, Pune. Sir, anyone question?
No, sir.
Sir?
At the end, sir, we will go for if any questions are there.
Sir.
Biradar sir, please have a look on YouTube views, and if any questions are there, you please collect and ask.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you just elaborate some startup ideas?
Sir, any startup idea क्या?
At that too in after such COVID situation.
Sir, for electrical.
No, sir. In general, for engineers.
Engineers. The wiper on the upper in front of glass. If there is no phenomena other than the rubber, which makes four-wheeler wiper to remove the rainwater from front glass. If anyone makes air venturi on the front glass, and if that glass is remove water from air, if that air is hot from coming from engine, then without rubber we can make front glass clear. And the scratches after 10 years, the rubber gets hard, and that makes scratches on the front glass. If we remove water from glass by air, it will make easy. And good thing is that there is no scratches or no mechanical contact with glass and rubber. Like that, if anyone makes nowadays electric motors are come. If anyone makes electric motor, hybrid electric motor and diesel car, if electric motor goes 300 kilometers, but diesel car can go more than while refilling the diesel, we can go more than 300 kilometers. If anyone wants to move more than 1,000 kilometers per day, then 500 kilometers with the help of diesel, and while making engine diesel car, that going with diesel, that will make convert that diesel power into battery and with the help of alternator, and that battery recharging is done. Then that will be make 300 kilometer or 200 kilometer more journey with the help of electric car. Like that, this hybrid car can be become. Or if we use turbines to make more engine. If we make suck the water from well, and that water throws on turbine, and some friction loss or some types of losses are there. But if 10 HP motor is there, and that makes turbine to run, and on that turbine 5 HP motor is, we can make free of cost. Not we can make 5 HP motor electricity generation, and that with the help of that 5 HP motor can be started with the help of turbine. Like that, any innovative idea which makes value addition in and saving money will help to society, so that we can make more efficient way to save energy, so conserve energy, conserve natural resources, and also we can conserve our health, improvement, and value based society we can make very efficiently, and that will help to grow startup exponentially and make money more and more.
Okay, thank you, sir. So there is one more question.
Yes, sir.
Everyone is interested to start his own startup, but what actually happened? He is not able to identify that whether he can start it. So what is the question? That how he or she will understand whether he or she is capable of starting a business? Means what are the qualities that are required to start any startup?
Only one quality is very important. Risk-taking ability is very important in startup. After that, if it goes, the idea goes wrong, or if idea is not sufficient to make startup grow itself, then 80% are businesses are come down at the starting phase only. So it is required that the idea of startup should be value based, so that after 10 years it may be good enough to take market stand in market situation, whatever the market situation, good or bad. But idea should be innovative. And how we can tell that this idea can run? At the first stage of idea, if that idea is coming from machine learning, cloud computing, or it's like that very innovative creation sector, then that idea will definitely have more potential to our strength to start and strong can strongly position in the market. So first of all, risk-taking ability is important, and initial funding is more important while starting the startup. And initial funding is coming from family, friends, or within family, and the support of family is important while startup. Every startup is start with the family support, and it is required. Family support is important.
Okay, thank you, sir. So as you rightly mentioned that we need funding for the startup. So can you just elaborate some sources where we will take the funding?
In our institute, PSP-IP is interested in 100% funding with the startup.
Okay, sir. So what will be the procedure or prerequisites for that? Means while funding, what actually that funding agency see the ability in that particular person?
The application is given to in PSP format in college. That will come to contact@psp@associates.com, and the team in there will make that idea into convert that idea into if there is any lagging point, then that will convert it into PSP-IP converted into whichever good for the startup, and that will convey with the students or innovator, and that gives with the help of conversation and other things, that startup may be start within time.
Okay, sir. One more question: how plan will be important, or how plan will play a role while deciding the funding or for getting funding? How plan should be presented?
It's important, but the plan is changing as the growth of startup is exponential. The plan will be changing, and as the startup grows in different ways, the plan also converted into the startup will convert it into private limited, public limited, and makes more and more area to start going in any direction. And startup should not go with one type of funding or one type of sources. Startup should go in different types of funding or in different ways to grow exponentially. The basic funda is startup should grow in exponential manner.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question: are there any government policies for the same?
Yes, sir. There are government policies to the tax concession. Also gives government gives support to startup, and startup is important in today's innovative era. Startups from Bangalore and Delhi are more effective than any other areas of the India.
Okay, sir. So as it is said that there are three necessary components to start any startup, that are idea, investment, and time. So can you just elaborate this interlinking between these idea, investment, and time? How these are interlinked with each other?
Yes, sir.
Idea, investment, and time.
Yes, sir. Idea is important. Any startup start with idea, but if idea is come in, idea is go with lengthy procedure, then that will time consuming, and time gets without funding. Time gets time is the factor that idea is time should go in same at the same place. If time just like Muhammad bin Tughlaq in history, he makes paper currency. But the economic environment at that time, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, is not good for paper currency, or so that the everything is failure at that time. So idea and time is required. Good time for good idea, and also it is funding is required. If there is no funding, then time and idea may not be make startup to grow in fast manner. So all these three are goes in hand by hand. If any time idea gets back, then the research team should make that idea in another manner, so that the society's needs are fulfilled, or commercial needs are fulfilled. And if for that, for small period of time, funding is required, the funding should be available with the help of government, or with the help of banking, with the help of private investor, angel investor, family background should help that, and at the proper timing, this all should be happen, so that we can make startup successful.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let me check another question. Sir, how location plays important role in growing the startup?
Locations is important, but now today's in global era, location is not too much concern about that. If any skilled workers are there in that particular area, or any environmental requirement if are in that area, then that time location is important. Otherwise, startup is run by inventor. Inventors should create their own environment to for that startup, so that incubation centers are new idea comes, and that incubation centers make that startup idea to grow in that incubation center. And after that, the ideas grow more than comes out of that incubation center. That idea should be converted into economic power, and that economic power makes startup successful.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, if I want to start any startup, so which kind of financial statements I should know? Means I heard about balance sheet or statement of operation or cash flow statement. So what actually these statements?
If if they want to make loan from banks, then the students should fulfill all banking requirements. Also, there are funding from CSSR or other institute from government. That funding, they should apply for that funding. Also, it depends upon the idea from which they want to do startup.
Okay, sir. So just in last 2 years, we have faced from this pandemic where most of the startups have failed. So after this pandemic, now in current situation, which is important, whether your startup should be mostly offline or online based?
Startup should be offline or online. That is not matter. The startup idea is important, And before you say that money, time, and startup, these three are come together, then that startup will make exponential growth and generate work for hands.
Okay, sir, but how to stand firm in case of these such pandemic situations?
Pandemic situation is there, but if idea is such a that it will work for society in this pandemic situation, then that idea should be work in this pandemic situation also. If idea is not important or not going to serve any social problem, then that problem that idea is not going to work very well. The value addition in money comes from value addition, and value addition is the process. That process is coming from idea of value addition. If Einstein makes electric bulb, there is a glass before that, there is tung tire before that, there is electricity before that. Edison makes bulb, electricity. And that bulb is bulb making idea is the idea, and that idea comes in pandemic situation or any other situation that makes valuable startup plan, and it will work in any situation, because that will give society a very helpful situation, face helpful situation.
Okay, sir. So one more question I wanted to ask. So whenever we go for a startup, so market survey is needed.
Market survey is needed, sir.
So, sir, how should it be carried? So market survey, how we should go for that market survey? And another one question is in that suppose if already that product is present in market, then how your startup should be designed so that you will stand for that market competition?
There are 6 ways of market valuation. With the help of that 6 ways, we can make search for markets, and if market is okay for that startup, or also it is risk taking ability of any startup that will help the in market, that product is okay or above average or below average. That will test after that it goes into market.
Sir, what about the product is same? Means already one startup is there which is giving the same service, and if I enter the market with same service, so what will be the
if first A company is in same market with same service or same product, then B should not enter with that because A has if A has patent of that idea. A startup is about the patentability, and business is about the traditional ways, like anyone makes money from that business, then we should also go for that business. But startup is coming from idea, and that idea is grabbed by company A, and then company B should restrict from that idea by filing that idea and goes for patenting. But after 10 years, company B also can go for that idea with the help of that idea. Patenting is for 10 years from the date of application.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question. So, as per your experience, which are the most common factor that influence the failure of a startup?
If we bad compliances is failure our startup. If we don't give proper attention for any plan and not make that plan search our plan schedule differently, we can schedule that plan after as we grow, then it will be not helpful to us to grow startups. Startups should make their plans and design according to the situation that plans, and the plan should be changed as company goes on increasing and achieve their targets.
Okay, so one last question. What you will tell about this particular statement that every time we hear that wherever you work as an employee, so it's 8 hour per day work, but when we enter in business, that is 24 hours per day work.
Yes, sir. If there is jababdari is more on entrepreneur and risk is more. If anyone making job, he sell his 8 hours to company, but while working for our own company, then it will be 100% ensure that every employee gets his salary, every shareholders get their returns back on investment, and that for that 24-hour duty is on entrepreneur, and that will help the entrepreneur to grow and take enjoyment in that field, because startups starts with the idea, and idea is innovator is the father of that idea, and he's create that idea and utilize that idea to grow his startup here to grow his startup in very different ways. And so for that the creativeness comes in not in within 8 hours or within time period. It will make that entrepreneur or creator, inventor, that he should know, he should strike that this type of situation is good for this type of plan, and then he change his plan and go next journey with that plan. And this is also risk taking ability is important, but while taking as he take experience from the market, he can judge which way is good for his further journey of business. So it is not an 8-hour work, it is 24/7 week work.
Okay, sir. Just a minute. Sir, can you just share your experience for while from startup for your startup? Yes,
So I am agriculture.
Okay.
Okay. I am taking should I speak in Marathi, sir?
Yes, sir. No issue.
At that time, in 2008, while starting my farm, I am making farming practices. I understand that to control weed in our farm, I have to give labor more money. So I go in industry, J industry in Kolhapur, MIDC Gokul and take from them one seed seed cutting machine, weed cutting machine. That weed cutting machine of 1 lakh rupees or less price. Now it is 1.5 lakh price. That machine makes 22 months work per day, and I am very happy because only one worker is required to control that machine. But what happened while in weed is coming, gavat is coming from land at the farm at the time of rainy season, and that machine working is not work in very well in chikhal. Wapsa is required for that to easy going that machine. Then I make that rubber tires converted into steel tire. Everything time I am doing that machine good and good and good. But till today, I am not happy with that type of machine. Because now what happened, the worker cannot work 8 hours behind that machine. So it is required that worker should sit on the small tractor, and tractor should go in side the farm to control the weed. So it is not 100% any startup product is satisfied, but we can make that product more efficient way, so that we can achieve more efficiency and more if that product is goes more marketing. Now today there is a one tractor from Pharmatech, 26 atom model. The vibration in handle are they make zero. If there is a one if any stone is come under the handle, the handle should not wobble. The balance power steering is technology is there, and that makes feel me very happy that farmer gets 10 hours sitting on the tractor, but cannot bored of work. So this type of technology comes in productive way in farmers' life, so that farmers' life can enrich, and that type of startups will help the farmer to grow more yield and achieve more productivity, so that they get more money from their land.
Okay, thank you, sir. Kulkarni sir, do you have any questions?
One question is there, that now from this national innovation and startup policies, now students are able to frame their problems from first year itself. So from second year, third year, they can work on this problem and they can register their startups. So the process of registering the startup, I think that may be one different session. In another day, we will plan this session of Kale sir.
Yes, sir.
So, this kind of information students always will require. That how to register for the startups, how to go for the proper in angel investments. So my question was that regarding this startups, how students should find the investors?
There's a type of startup which makes student to find investors. If startups are, I think the product selling is the more important than finding investor. If product sell, the revenue comes from the that product, and that will invest. And another high level of investment is coming from that revenue also. And if there is a more area other than that, then other than that revenue, then anyone should go for finding investors. Before finding investor, the idea should be gets into converted into product.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Biradar, sir, any questions?
No, sir. Questions, sir. Thanks.
So very nice interaction all of we have with Kale sir, because only session that is not sufficient for this kind of I think day celebration or this kind of theme. Interactive session is most important, and that's why today many students asked the different questions related with the startups, many queries related with the startups in mind of the students. For that, solutions or answers are given by the Kale sir. And definitely, sir is always with us. If anybody is having any questions or anybody is having any support required for that, as Institution Innovation Council, as a member of that, and as always our supporter, he is always with us. So students should take the benefit for their startup or the taking idea, converts their ideas for the startups. Always we learn that in 2010, what was the transactions or what was the annual business of Google, and now in 2020 what it is, or many other kind of startups are there, Ola, Uber, etc. So those are based on the IT related products. So how they are growing, how these startups are growing in that way from the last 10 years, that we are observing. And on another end, those who are not taking the cognizance of innovations, then creativity, how they are getting failed, that is also we are observing nowadays. So with this particular today's session, I appeal for the students that they should take the benefit of that all. Already we have incubation, then IPR sale with us. So definitely that will be helpful for all of you. Once again, I am thankful to Kale sir for this particular session, and I request Professor G.B. Biradar for vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you, sir. So thank you, Shivraj sir. So I would like to request Vaibhav sir, please give vote of thanks.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So, thank you very much, sir, Dr. Shivraj, sir, for giving your valuable time and your informative session. I would like to thank you, Dr. Altaf Mulani, sir, HOD ANTC department, for his support and motivation to conduct this session. I would like to thank IIC President and Vice Principal, Dr. S.G. Kulkarni, sir, for his support. I would like to thank you, Honorable Principal K.J. Karande, sir, Dr. K.J. Karande, sir, for his contribution. Thank you once again all. With permission of chair, I declare that this session is over. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.